Okay, this is a story about me. I lived in Bnei Brak. This was like 30, 35 years ago. I lived in Bnei Brak. So I got a job teaching here in the yeshiva, and we wanted to sell our house and move to Kfar Chabad. So we had to sell our house. We lived in just an apartment in Bnei Brak. If you remember, this is what 35, almost 40 years ago. Lived in Bnei Brak. Bnei Brak is packed over there, and things are really expensive. But anyways, we had a place. So someone called up, and he said that he was interested in buying the place. They wanted to come and look at it. But and he came and he looked. He said, but he's trying to sell his place, and he's having a problem. No. So he said, you know where I got money? He said, I'm not Chabad, but you know where I got the money to buy a new place? So I said, how can I know you? I didn't know the guy at all. He said, from the Lubavitcher Rebbe. And I'll tell you the story. And so the story is like this. In the end, he decided he didn't want to buy the house. So the story was like this. He said, we live in a house. I went up to his house. I went up to visit him. He had this little house, little apartment that had like 2 bedrooms or something. And he had like 5 children, and his wife was pregnant. So he said, we moved up here into this apartment. We bought this place, and it started becoming too small. So, so we put a couple kids, they slept in the front room. And, that was when there was the 2 girls and the two boys. And then there was another child born. So we stuck him together, and the rooms are small. And, they were going to sleep, so they didn't have any room. So we decided we have to buy a new place. So I put in an application for a loan for government. The Israeli government, they give loans almost like rent free or something like that, especially if you have a big family. So I put in a request for a loan, and I didn't get an answer. I waited a year. I went down there, and they said, wait. So I waited. Meanwhile, my wife gave birth, and now we have like 5 kids in the house, 6 kids, whatever it was. And the family's growing, and the house stays the same size. And I'm waiting for this loan to come through, and it doesn't come through. So I went down again. They said, oh, we lost your papers. Seems we've lost your papers. You have to come again. You have to fill out the papers again. I said, okay, but don't take a year to tell me. He said, oh, no, we're really sorry. We didn't mean it. So he said, I filled out the papers and for this loan, and I'm waiting. I'm calling up and waiting, calling up. Nothing happens. They said it would be in another month. I would get it back. Nothing. 3, 4, 5 months pass. I go down after 6 months. We lost your papers again. We're really sorry. We're really. So what's going on over here? So someone says to me, to my wife, you should ask the Lubavitcher Rebbe in Igros Kodesh. Ask the Lubavitcher Rebbe in Igros. No. It wasn't Igros Kodesh. They wrote to the Rebbe. This is like 40 years ago. So we wrote to the Rebbe, and we got an answer back almost immediately. They used to receive fax. You should check your tefillin. So I said, yeah, sure. That's what he writes to everybody. I didn't really hold with Lubavitcher Rebbe and anything. In Bnei Brak, there was this one rabbi that anyway, he spoke against the Rebbe with no reason to it, and he wrecked a lot of people's lives. But in any case, so it affected a lot of people. And he said, I don't know this Lubavitcher Rebbe. And I got an answer back. I should check my tefillin. Come on, it's brand new tefillin. I just bought the tefillin. He writes that to everybody, Not only he writes it to everybody. I heard other people who check your tefillin. That's all he writes. Meanwhile, the time passes by another half a year or whatever. I go down to the office and say, oh, we lost your papers again. What? You lost them again? How can you lost them 3 times? How can it be? He said, listen, don't yell. It's not going to help. Please fill it out again. And so I go back home. I tell my wife, and my wife says, listen, you're not doing anything. You didn't even do what the Lubavitcher Rebbe said. Check your tefillin. check your tefillin. So I figured I'm not going to do it. But on the other hand, I had nothing to lose. And my wife is nagging me. And now it's impossible to live at home, right? We got all these kids and the house is small. And my wife is nagging me and yelling at me all the time. I said, okay, I'll check the tefillin and I'll show you it's not that. So I took the tefillin. He said, I want to show you something. He went in the next room and he brought out the tefillin. He said, I checked the tefillin. He said, they were puzzled. Tefillin were not good. And look where they were not kosher. It said, I'm sorry. When you're sitting in your house, and the word bebeitecha, there was a big hole in the letter beit that cut the letter in half, wrecked it up. I saw bebeitecha, the word house, there was a big hole in the letter beit. Immediately on the spot, as soon as I saw that my tefillin were not kosher, I bought from that scribe. I brought another pair of another pair of tefillin, another parsha, whatever it was. And then he changed the parshas inside of the tefillin. He said, I changed the parsha inside of the tefillin. He said, I came home. He said, the next day I got a phone call, and the phone call said, this is from the housing department. If you don't come down today, he said, do you want the loan or don't you want the loan? I said, of course I want the loan. He said, well, we've been waiting. I mean, how long are we supposed to wait? It's been ready for you for a year. If you don't come down now, we're not going to give it to you. I said, what? Couldn't believe it. I went down, they gave me the loan, and that's how I have the money to buy your house, your place. In the end, they didn't buy my house. But he showed me the parsha of the tefillin. In the letter house, there was a hole. As soon as he fixed it up, the blessing came down. So the Rebbe's advice was gold. And the point of the matter is that God is the boss, and that tefillin and the commandments connect us to his blessings. Have a good day with Mashiach now.